welcome to the Spoiler TV podcast, where we break down the week in television and dish on all your favorite TV shows. I'm here with my co-hosts, Susanna and Jessica. How are you guys doing today?
Good.
We got snow.
In Vancouver,
So,
that's fair.
yeah, yeah.
Oh
So
my goodness.
it's a snowy morning, but good to
Ah,
be back. Did everybody miss us? Because
I
we,
know.
I know it's been a while.
Been a
I know.
while. We're
Yeah,
excited to be back for sure.
yeah, excited that our shows are back.
Yes,
Yeah.
I've been
yes.
missing those. I mean, it's nice to have a little break over the Christmas season, but like January 1st, they should start coming
Yeah.
back up.
Oh
I
yeah,
know. And
definitely.
most just premiered again last week, so it's
And
been
we
a
still
long
have a
bit.
ton that aren't on until
Yeah.
March, I think.
Yes, and
Crazy.
Tracker is not until February 16th.
So we still got a
Ugh.
while for
So we
some.
still have a bit of a wait. Yeah, so I was like the Thursday night lineup of ABC is not returning till March, and I really feel like those fans are going to need a rewatch because they last aired in November.
I don't even
Oh
remember what
God, yeah.
happened. I remembered it was like a big ending, and I can't even remember. I mean,
That's
I
what
have
I,
tons
yeah.
on my mind all the time, but yeah, I cannot
Yeah.
remember how it ended. I remember being so shocked, but that's about it.
I'm
Yeah. I
still,
still watched the last episode.
yeah, I'm still trying to figure out why they have two hot tickets, 911 and Grey's Anatomy, on
Mhm.
that lineup. I just don't get it. I guess we'll see the ratings once they return.
Mhm.
But
Mm.
hopefully it doesn't hurt these shows too much. I mean, I
Didn't
honestly don't care about Dr. Odyssey. It can go, but for the others, yeah,
didn't they just sign Grace on for another season though? I thought I saw
nothing's
that.
been renewed yet for next year.
Okay.
No. So,
But they will.
Yeah.
yeah,
I feel like that
Probably
one's
will.
gonna go down right until the bitter end.
Yeah. That's true too.
I can't imagine it getting canceled, but yeah,
Especially with
no.
all the new characters and the storylines that are happening with the new characters. Like I know people are over it, but like if people are just starting to watch that one, it's like you didn't
Yeah.
really miss much because it's all new people.
Right.
So
True.
like obviously some of the old characters are still there, but like we mentioned before, they've really cut those main characters down to like a few an episode, and then you might not see them for a few weeks.
Right.
So
Yep.
their storylines aren't as big as some of the smaller, newer characters.
Yeah,
True. Yep. I agree.
they're drawing people in, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
So let's dive into the TV show drama this week. We have a few shows we're going to focus on. First of all, High Potential is killing it in ratings. This is one of the only shows besides Matlock that's gotten renewed for another season,
Mhm.
and it earned that renewal. So, Susanna, you watch the show. What do you think it is about it that makes it so popular?
Well, it's funny actually. I didn't start watching it until the Christmas break, which is funny. But that's me. I don't like watching shows right away because if they're new and they don't renew, then I've wasted all my time.
Mhm. That's smart
So,
plan. That's a smart plan.
so I think I started when they were on episode 6. So I started and I binged all of them in one sitting. And let me tell you, I did not want to turn my TV off.
Hmm.
It I think the way they cast the show, they have the right actors in the right job. They have a Caitlin, I was going to say, but they have her life, and then they have the life of the LAPD. So you get to see her intertwine both of those, and for working moms that is a huge thing
Yeah.
because she she is a very smart person, and you could see that she probably had a huge amount of potential to get a career in that. Never had the chance because she had kids, and then she was a stay-at-home mom and never had the opportunity to have a really good job. So she was a cleaning lady. So I think that resonates with a lot of moms that have kids and have careers. So I think that is number one. Number two, the cases are really awesome, and the way that they intertwine her into solving them makes a big like bang. I feel like even last episode, it took them almost to the last 5 minutes to figure out who the actual killer was, and when they did, it was like I caught it like the minute that she saw one of the props that really indicated who the killer was, I knew right away. Like I'm like, yes, that's who it is. And then she said that's what who it was. So they take you on this journey, but they make you also take the journey with them to figure out who the killer is on your own and see if you can figure it out with her. So that's what I like about it. And the humor is actually really funny. I mean, she ended up going to the Dollar Tree this last episode and found police badges, and she doesn't have one because she's just a consultant. So she brought them to the precinct and lifts it up and goes, special consultant to the LAPD. And then, of course, her coworkers were like, "Where'd you get that? That's illegal," and they stole it from her and put it in their drawer. And then 2 seconds later, she had it again. And they're like, "Where did you get it again?" And she's like, "They sold it as a two-pack." Like it was just the way she brings that humor to the show too, as well. And then how they have her ex, the father of her, mom or father of her two youngest. It's the little boy and her baby. He is also in the show, but she has told the LAPD that he is just a neighbor that watches the kids so that he could get paid because he's really the dad. And if he watched
Oh
the kids,
my
he can't get
God.
paid.
That's hilarious.
Well, he's an Uber driver, right? Like he doesn't
Yeah.
have a really big job either, and because he has to watch the kids, so he can't really work those like 9 to 5 jobs. So that's the way they're getting him paid is just saying that he's the neighbor babysitter. So they have no clue that that's her ex and the father of those two kids.
Are they
So
together?
no, no, but they've been good friends. And then the other portion of it that's really drawing me in is the father of her oldest disappeared one day. And that was kind of like the love of her life. And she didn't understand why he disappeared. And she always said he had to have a good reason for doing so, or something happened to him. And lately her daughter's now 16 and has those feelings. Her dad left her. And she's like, "No, I swear, like there has to be a reason." So one of the reasons she said yes to this job was so that Captain Soto could help her find out what happened to her
Mhm.
oldest father. And throughout the episodes, except last episode, they didn't really talk about it. But throughout the episode, she's been showing up at her house or calling her into her office and telling her, "This is what I found out," or "This is what I know." So it does look like there was some foul play with how he disappeared. And it'd be interesting to see how that actually works its way into everything else. Um, so she is getting a twofer, like she's getting paid, she's getting to do this amazing job, and then she's going to find out what happened to the first love of her life. So
Nice.
um, I think it draws you in with different perceptions of how you view what you want to look at. Like there's three different storylines there, so one of them is going to draw you in regardless. They also have some pretty good people are making guest appearances. They had JD Pardo from Mayans there for three episodes. They now have Jocko Sims
Yeah,
coming.
from New
Next
Amsterdam.
episode, yeah. So he's gonna be on next episode with another I can't remember. I saw the preview coming up. Um so there's gonna be some good actors in the next two episodes too. So and it's almost over.
Two
There's
more.
only like a few episodes left. So they are gonna I just think they're gonna end it off with a really good bang, but also a very good cliffhanger, you can tell. So yeah, no, I'm glad I waited to watch and I was able to um sit there and binge it because like I said, I didn't want to wait till next week. I really wanted to figure out what was going on. So yeah, I love Caitlin Olsen. I loved her as Dee Reynolds on Always Sunny in Philadelphia. She's got that wit about her, so she's doing a really good job on the show.
Yeah. So she'll still be on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, apparently,
Yeah.
but
Hmm.
no clue when that one is returning. But yeah, two more episodes left. And next season they'll likely get a full season order, 22 episodes, which is great.
Yes.
A lot more time to tell some good stories. So yeah, way to go, high potential. Pretty exciting.
Yeah. I didn't even think, like I thought I'll just get in here and see what it's all about. I'm not used to I really like crime dramas and stuff, but the more serious ones, I wasn't sure how I was gonna like it with meshed in with comedy and everything. But you know what? It's the perfect touch of everything and it really sucks you in.
Yeah. I felt like that would so help me, Todd, because it was a dramedy, and
Hmm.
but it still had those cases that hooked you in,
Yeah.
yet you were laughing. And
Yeah.
so I was so sad when it got canceled, so maybe I should.
R.I.P. So help me, Todd.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I know you, I mean, honestly, if you like a little bit of I mean, I started laughing the beginning of the episode with her freaking fake Dollar Tree, and that, at the end, they, there's been a thing where people are not respecting her. She was a cleaning lady, they don't know, but they really see her now as part of the team. So at the end, she went to go get her jacket, and they had put the badge on her jacket from the Dollar Tree. So that told her that, she was really part of the team. So.
Well, yeah, looks like it's good. Gonna break through, which is awesome. So, yeah, guess we will talk more about it next week.
Mhm.
But for now, we're going to go into FBI International, which returned from its winter hiatus just this last week. Now, that was great for CBS, but it certainly hurt the ratings of the ABC shows that air that night. But that just speaks to the popularity of the FBI franchise, right?
Mhm.
And the power that it holds. So, Jess, you tuned in this week. What'd you think of the winter premiere?
I was away for the last few podcasts because life. But so there's a couple things that I want to touch base on
Yeah,
before
do
we
it.
get into the episode. But this one is a big Station 19 people, exciting with Travis Montgomery is on this now, which his actor name is Jay Hayden. And
Yes.
so the last few episodes before winter break, he was on, and I was pretty excited because I loved Station 19.
Yeah.
I watched Chicago Med because of Chicago PD. Like Fire had been on for too long before I could get into it, but I like to watch shows that kind of like intermingle their
Right.
characters. So I loved Station 19. I was obviously very sad. I sobbed when it was over, but so getting to see some of the actors in different shows now is like super exciting for me.
Yeah.
And this show, like I picked it up because of Jesse, and so it's nice to get to see my characters who were in other shows that I watched now in the same show, and playing different characters. Like for Jay, because he was a firefighter, now he's on the fly team here, so that was really exciting for me. I was pumped to see him. And so if you love Station 19, very similar, like, actors are kind of, they are who they are, so
Yeah.
if you loved him in that show, you'll love him in this show. So,
Right.
highly recommend watching. Like I said, this is my first season watching, and I feel like I didn't miss anything. So lots of space to come in and join us.
That's
Um, and
awesome.
then at the end of last episode, we saw Special Agent Vo. She got shot by Zonka and Zonka's team. And yeah, unfortunately, that's how they started this season,
Yeah.
was coming back to that. And it was a little bit scary at first because she basically the whole episode she's out.
Wow.
They don't know what's going to happen to her, and we find out at the end that she is okay after having multiple surgeries. But she's good, and
That,
she's going to stay alive, which makes me happy because Zonka already killed Wes's old partner, and so
oh,
if he also killed his current partner,
that's trauma.
yeah,
Yeah.
he would have gone crazy.
Mhm.
And I also want to mention that my husband actually watched this episode with me,
Oh.
and we love Chicago PD. Like, that's our show. We've been watching it from the beginning together. And he said he loves this show because they actually shoot people. We always get so frustrating watching PD because, like, they'll be chasing these guys down and, like, they could totally shoot them and they let him get away. And we're always like, come on, like, just shoot him. Whereas in the show, they shoot. So he was very thrilled.
I love
And
that.
again,
I love
we are
that.
Chicago PD people, and so Jesse was exciting for him to watch. And then I just kind of wrote down some notes here because I feel like I'm always all over the place. I like start talking about something and then run into another thing and then come back. So I kind of want to stay on topic. Okay, so
All good.
besides the Asian post stuff that's going on because of Sanka, the team is trying to find him because he has escaped from prison, all that stuff. So basically, if you haven't watched or haven't been caught up, he was convicted of multiple crimes, which one of them was killing Wes's former partner.
Ooh,
Yeah. And so now with him, the Vo shooting, he was like, we need to find, because there's like, I'm not letting him get away. So I love to see Wes like this. Like he
yeah.
gets so into it, and like he's so passionate. Oh, I just love him. I love him. He's so good. But he was the same way in PD. Like his character in both of the shows are just like, they want to find out what happened, and they need to catch the bad guys. And I love that about his characters in both of these shows. So basically, he escaped and made his way to Paris. So
Okay.
now the fly team was obviously going to Paris. So that's where most of the episode took place. And so they found Zonka's, I believe it was his girlfriend. I don't know if it was his current girlfriend or ex-girlfriend. I can't remember, but her name was Valerie. And so they tried to get her to help them so
Right.
they can find out where he is, and she sends them in the wrong direction.
Of course.
So
Ah,
he
Of
clearly
course.
was still trying to help him,
yes.
and um, it it didn't work. And so they were now at this point they're angry, right? Because they want to
Yeah.
find out where he is and to take him down. And so basically, because she sent them in the wrong direction, they went back to her eventually and they threatened her this time and basically said, like,
Yeah.
if you don't help us actually get to him, this is what's going to happen to you. And basically, they threatened her with like a criminal charge. So she did tell them, kind of like, she, to her best of her ability, she told them where that she could find him, and they got there, but they couldn't find him. But they found somebody else who was able to get them to find him. But along the way, he they Azaga's team captured one of the agents, Agent Cam,
Oof.
and I was like, oh no, like they've already shot Vo, now they have Agent Cam, and like
Yeah.
I knew that Cam wasn't going to go anywhere, but I was like, are they going to injure him? Like, what is going to happen? And so I was a
Yeah.
little bit worried about that. But he ends up managing to escape by, I think he like stabbed him in the leg,
Oof.
and so he ended up getting away. And through all of this, they end up finding Zonka, and he's on a bridge in Paris, and he admits to a bunch of the stuff that he did. And then he's talking to Wes and like saying all this stuff to him, and then he pulls out a gun. And like I said, my husband said he likes this show because they actually shoot.
Love
And
that.
so because he went to go pull out the gun, Wes shot him. And so Zonka's now been taken care of.
See you
He
later.
said, see ya.
Yeah.
Like, this has
Wow.
been like, I'm pretty sure this is the third episode that we've been dealing with this man. Like, so, which is crazy because I feel like in a lot of other like police shows, it's kind of like one episode
Yeah, one and
at a
done.
time, and you sometimes PD will come back multiple episodes later to a certain story if they never finished it. But
Yeah.
this one is like, what the heck? Like, it just felt like so long. But
Yeah.
so I'm glad he's gone. He hurt enough people. And like I said, at the end of this episode, we found out that Agent Vo is okay. She's going to be fine. But it'll be interesting to see in the next few episodes how she recovers and how she comes back, if she does,
Wow.
into the fly team. I don't think I've heard anything about her leaving the show.
No, I don't think
No.
so.
Yeah, so it'll just be interesting how they integrate her
Work
back,
that
and like,
in.
can
Yeah.
she come back right away? Is she gonna, kind of take time to herself? Like, I'm not too sure, but I'm excited to see what they do with that. But yeah, happy for Wes because he got his revenge, and I'm glad it was him who shot Zonka because, like I said, he took out his old partner, and then now he tried to do his former partner or current partner. So I was happy that he was the one to get the revenge. But
Work
what
with
a
him for him.
great episode, as usual. Love it. For next week. And yeah, it was. I I just can't get enough of Jesse. I think he was the perfect addition to the show, and just the way that he kind of like his connections to each of the agents kind of brings them all together. Do you know what I
Wow.
mean?
Yeah,
Like,
totally.
you
Yeah,
you could just feel that he's kind of like that middle person, and everybody. I don't know, so good.
I love it.
You should watch if you have.
Well, I heard rumblings this week that the original FBI is about to be renewed,
I did hear the same thing.
That's
but
good.
there is no official announcement. I'm
Right,
thinking that's coming. And last year, when they announced the renewal, it was all three that got renewed. So
right.
I'm thinking it's coming.
Okay.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't see why not. The ratings are amazing. So popular.
I know.
They got some loyal fans,
Oh,
clearly.
big time. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
because
so,
especially like with multiple of kind of the same show, some people kind of don't like that, right? But the fact that this still has such high ratings, even with multiples, it's obviously they're doing something right.
I think it's
Well, I
because,
think,
sorry, go ahead.
yeah, I like the international part of it too, though. Like, it's not
Yeah.
just your basic US crime drama.
Right.
It's like looking at all these like international cases, you're mixing in with international organizations, and it makes people more interested,
Yes.
Yes.
I feel like too. So,
Well, it's nice. Every episode is kind of in a new place.
Yeah, that which is
Amazing.
really cool.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
we were in Portugal at one point. This week we were in
Yeah.
Paris. Like it's just interesting to see them go all over and how they work with the teams from those places too, right?
Yeah.
Because they don't
Right.
just go there and work on their own. They have to work with the FBI teams that are from those countries, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's been interesting to watch.
Nice. Well, from one popular show to another, Fire Country came back with its winter premiere this week. It was delayed due to the LA wildfires. Now, I- I'm seeing a lot of stuff. People are saying it was probably too soon to come back, and I don't know. Like, I get it in a way, but I also don't because we have to separate reality from television, I think, sometimes, right?
Mhm.
And I
Well,
think
the
they
good news is the
help.
fires have stopped burning.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's another thing too. I mean, it's gonna be what is too soon too. Like you can look at a lot of people lost their homes and stuff. Are you gonna wait till all of that ends? Like you got to look at the
Years.
reality. It also highlights too the fact that inmates are the ones that are putting out the fires. And that show does such a good job of showing that, background. I mean, you've got to look at that too. It mirrored it very closely, but it also shines a light on those people that are, risking their lives too to help.
When I don't think like the show, this was filmed before any of these
It
fires
was.
I
happened.
It
It's
was.
know.
not like they were trying to recreate it. It's two
No.
different things.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like there's been a couple shows. I think Meghan Markle had her show that was supposed to be airing,
Yes.
and
It,
they put that on pause. And the reasoning kind of was like because it was pretty much filmed where all the fires happened, and so how do you go and promote this show?
Yeah.
When all this bad stuff happened, and you know, I think there is no right time to bring this show back. Do you know what I mean?
no. It's a
Whether
show about
if you were,
firefighters.
yeah, if you were
Chicago
affected,
fighting back. Yeah.
yeah, if you were affected, it's going to trigger you most likely, whether it was on the week after, a
Yeah.
month later, a year later, it's
Correct.
always kind of going to bring back those traumatic details for you.
I agree.
Yeah.
And so there really isn't a right time. And like
No.
I said, they didn't film this to mirror it.
No.
It's
No.
two different things,
Yeah.
Yep.
right? And
And
so I
yeah,
think there is no right time. So they had to come back eventually. So
exactly. I
yeah.
I mean, of course, we're very sensitive for the people who
Mhm.
lost everything in the
Yes.
fires,
So sad.
but
Like I'm still
Yeah, it is. It's
shocked. Like we
awful.
get the wildfires here in BC every summer,
yes,
and
yes.
it's
Yeah.
so sad and so scary when it happens, but never anything like that. Like at
Yeah.
least since I've lived here for 12 years, I've never seen anything like that. And my heart goes out to everybody who,
Mhm.
lost homes, lost any sort of family members, lost pets. Like so sad. I
Much.
couldn't
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
imagine. Yeah. Like there's one thing to, maybe a fire damages a room in your house, but to damage everything, like all of your memories, like
Yeah.
there is no words.
Paris.
Yeah, and it was like whole communities, you didn't only lose your house,
Yes.
you lost the community that
And
you loved, you
children
lived
lost
in.
their schools
Yeah.
and
Yes.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But so Fire Country did return. I thought it was a great episode, a lot of edge of your seat drama. And I think for me, Jess, I don't know if you agree, the biggest moment was Manny and Gabriella finally talking through their issues.
Hmm.
I mean, it took her going missing and him essentially going MIA to find her. But I feel like that moment that they shared in the bathroom between them was so needed.
Hmm.
Um, and when Manny said to Gabriella, "This is your rock bottom," do you agree?
No, I think it could go even bottomer because like now I know she seemed happy when she saw
Bodhi.
Bodhi in the elevator with
Yeah.
the flowers, and then she's like, "You
Oh,
didn't need to get me flowers," and goes to get, and she's like, "Oh, they're not for me."
yeah.
And she seemed okay. She's like, like I'm happy for you, kind of thing. But I think when she actually sees them together or anything like that, I think that could trigger her and
Yeah.
make her even more upset because of
Yeah.
what she kind of missed out on because of everything she's going through. But
Yeah.
I think she's close to her very bottom. And like her dad said, like I've been at the bottom multiple times and I
Yeah.
make my way back up, right? Like
Yeah.
just because you're at the bottom doesn't mean, and then you make your way up doesn't mean you can't go back down. Do you know
Right.
what I mean? So do
Yeah.
I think that it could happen again? Yeah. Do I think that she's going to work her hardest to get back up? Heck yes. Like that's who she is. Do you know what I mean? So, but such like they needed those
Yeah.
conversations because there was multiple.
Sure.
They
Yeah.
needed those. Like I feel like she was holding so much resentment against him and like
Yes.
it wasn't telling him exactly why. Do you know what I mean? It was kind of her saying like, "Oh, I don't want to talk to you," like because of this, because of that. But like they really got into it, and I think it was much needed, especially for her mental health.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. There are going to be some, repercussions for what she did for walking away.
Yes.
But hopefully that puts her on the path to put the pieces of her life back together.
Mhm.
And that, she'll always have support of the people around her, no
I
matter
was
what.
just going to
But
say the same thing. Like, she's got such a great support, even from the people
yeah,
who are going to have to get her in trouble.
I
Like,
know.
they are going to get her in trouble, but they will be there to support her at the same time. So, it'll be interesting to see what comes of all that.
Yeah. Speaking of Bodhi,
Mhm.
so fans are not happy with the route the show's going with pairing Bodhi and Audrey. And for me, I'm gonna say how I feel, Justin. You tell me if you agree or disagree.
Sure.
But I feel like it's lazy and contrived plot. Like I feel like drama needs to evolve naturally from character development and story progression. But I feel like this is just an arbitrary roadblock that they put in the way of Bodhi and Gabriella getting together, um, just to cause drama, right? And I feel like this just frustrates an audience rather than keeps them wanting to tune in every week to see what happens. And plus, I feel like Audrey deserves more of a storyline than just being the girl that Bodhi is using or whatever. Do you know what I
After
mean?
Gabriella. Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see that, but I could also see it from the other way. And I,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because this is my first season watching, so I don't have too strong of a, Bodhi and Gabriella love. Like I love them. I
Yeah.
think they're so great together. I love the steaminess. Like give it to me. But I do think that sometimes, even in real life, a relationship like that can kind of hurt both parties, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes you need to step away, and sometimes that means that somebody else kind of gets used in the process, which is what I think is happening with Audrey, to kind of get him to see what he wants and like what he deserves in a relationship. And maybe this relationship with Audrey is going to teach him things that he can then be like, if Gabrielle ever does want to come back or they try to get them back together, like, hey, this didn't work for me last time. This is
Right.
how it's going to be, or else we can't be together.
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of seeing it that way, but I could see like if I had been watching the show from the beginning and I've been vying for these two to be together, and now you're gonna just stick him with this girl, new
Yeah.
girl, and who they haven't even really had that much of a storyline together. Like I just feel like it's kind of been building the last couple episodes. But I mean, sometimes you need like a whole season
Yeah.
of building before you can start a relationship like that. But yeah, it, I could see both ways, and but I think that yes, it could be lazy writing, but I do think in real life something like this usually happens, and then they get back together, and this
Yeah.
person unfortunately just gets used. And I said to you guys, I think it was one of the podcast episodes, or maybe we were just chatting, but um, I knew who Audrey was. Like it was
Oh, yes, we
Yeah.
did
Yeah.
that.
she was on Grey's Anatomy.
Oh my
She was
God.
the daughter of McSteamy.
Okay.
And
Oh
that makes
yeah,
so
because
much
he did
sense.
have a daughter that showed up. Yeah.
And it was her. So I finally figured that out only because I was watching TikTok, and I think it was right before the cancellation. And she had posted something like people were airing out their dirty laundry, and she posted something like, "Oh, when everybody only sees me as the daughter in Grey's Anatomy, but really I'm
Oh yeah, there
so
she
much
was.
more."
Oh,
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that's what it was, something like that. And that's how I figured out who she was. And I was just like, no way. I knew her, but I just had to add that in. Um, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see how long this lasts. Will it
yeah.
last long? Is it just a little short stint? Is this it? Maybe he never gets back with Gabriella. Maybe a couple
Oh,
cheating stints. I
yeah.
don't know. But it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. But yeah, I can definitely see both sides. I would be mad if I had been watching from the beginning, vying for these two, and then you
Sure.
lazily reading this girl.
Yeah.
But I also sympathize with Bodhi. Like he was tired of just getting played around. And so
I don't want to
he's
be
moving
played.
on,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. And so, Like you're right. Let's see how this plays out. Will it last? Will it not last? We still have a lot of season left to go. So, just people need to just have faith, I think.
Mhm.
And whatever's gonna
You know
happen,
that
is
they
gonna
always
happen.
do this. Yeah, they always do this just to get people mad and suck it in. Look what happened on SVU. They played with us with Stabler and Benson for a while, and now they're not even putting them on the same show for a while, so just gets everyone upset.
Another moment that really was very touching was Eve and her dad. And he finally let his guard down and decided to help. And that hug between them was just so, just like oozed out love. And she needed that. She really needed that. The fire could have cost her her family, but thankfully it went the other way and brought her and her father closer together. So,
When he was with the horse and she was leaving to go continue the fight, like the fighting, and he just like tipped his hat to her, I
yeah,
almost sobbed. I'm
I
like,
know.
I was
Yeah,
like, oh, this is what she needed. Like this episode was about bringing people together. It
that's
was
right.
so nice. Oh, it was just so special. But yeah, with Manny and Gabriella, and then even her dad, like that moment was it for me. I was like, that's how I know that they're gonna get past this
They're
and
gonna
it's
be
gonna be
okay.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a big highlight for me. And then of course there was that sort of cliffhanger where Vince's dad Walter shows up
Right
and
at
kind
the
of
end,
threw them a curveball, right? He said he came for Bodhi's graduation, but it was last week. So now we have to wonder, is there something going on with his mental health? Is there some Alzheimer's there? Why is he so
right?
confused? What's he doing back? So poor Vince and Sharon, just when they thought they could catch a break.
Everything was good. Now they're getting the new thing. But yeah,
They
that'll
don't
be
get
an
a break.
interesting storyline either, or that'll be an interesting storyline too, just to
Yeah.
kind of see how did he forget? Like
Yeah,
what do you mean? And even like when they told him it was last week, he was kind of like, you better be lying to me.
yeah,
Like,
he did say that. Yeah.
oh, like, ugh. So
Yeah.
hopefully everything's okay. But with a
The,
cliffhanger like that, I don't think so.
the episode next week is called The Leone Way, and the family goes on a little bonding trip. So I think we're going to see a lot. Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, that should be a good episode. I love the
Yeah,
Leon.
I agree.
I love their family. They're
I
so
know. So sweet. Well, let's move on now to another fan favorite, The Rookie. So, remember this just premiered back in January, beginning of January. And they're doing an 18 episode stint instead of the regular 22. And it's still confusing as to why ABC chose to do that because they did that with Will Trent as well. So I guess we'll see. But so much has happened in the show. And so now we're just kind of picking things back up again. And so last episode brought in a kind of a different angle, and they're actually looking for a serial killer. And Nyla Harper almost got in his way. She was injected with a paralytic. Luckily, it was just temporary. But one thing that's really happening this season, which I think is needed and it's good, is you're really starting to see these characters and their personal lives, not so much what's going on the job. So we've seen cracks in Nyla's relationship with James since the beginning of the season. But the scene with her and Angela in the hospital really raised red flags about that relationship. Like, she didn't want to tell James, her husband, the details about what happened to her. And it's like, why can't she be open and honest with him?
Yeah.
So there's clearly some bigger issues going on there. They were already butting heads over the LAPD corruption case. So I feel like these two really need to start communicating and getting the relationship back on track. But they're such a good couple. It would break my heart if anything happened, but we shall see. And I have to say, and I don't really care. I very much enjoyed the first few episodes without Jenna Dewan Bailey. I still don't understand what she's doing on the show. Her character is not compelling. She has
Needs some work.
no
She needs some work.
storyline. I don't know. And this week just irked me because really, all of a sudden she sneaks into a hitman's car and holds the guy at gunpoint without getting hurt. Like,
Yeah.
how is she capable of doing that all of a sudden? Like, I know she has some army training and whatever, but I don't know. Now she's also going to try and work with this guy to catch her ex. She a vigilante too, all of a sudden. Like, I don't know. I think what they're trying to do is give her more of a storyline, but at the same time, it's like the ensemble cast for the show is huge. We don't need any more
Mhm.
added drama. Do you know what I mean? So anyway, uh the episode I could have done without all of her drama personally. The other thing that irked me about this episode was um it was so similar to Day of Death, where Lucy was essentially kidnapped and buried in a barrel left to die. And yet the writers did not add in any callbacks to that whatsoever. And I always find the writing on the show to be really weak. Like they leave out a lot of dialogue. There's plots kind of all over the place, so many plot holes. But honestly, how did not one person in the writer's room think we should add in a callback to that? Like we should bring it
Yeah.
back to Lucy's trauma. It was just seems to me again like lazy writing, and it really makes me wonder. This show really rarely touches on trauma. Is it just because they don't know how to write it, or are they afraid to go there? Right?
Mm.
Like the showrunner kept saying how Tim is in therapy. Tim is fixing himself in therapy. We have yet to see Tim in therapy. So I don't know. That was a big disappointment to me. Even though the actress Melissa O'Neill did kind of a some sort of body language or that really depicted that she was kind of having some sort of trauma to it, but it wasn't written as part of the show. That was the actress's choice to do that. So
Oh, wow.
anyway, and then there was that final scene. So of course the writers broke up Tim and Lucy last last season. They're big hot couple. And look, I'm not a fan of the breakup. I know a lot of people have come to terms with it in the fandom and feel like it was needed, but I just can't get there. Like I feel like a breakup's just an easy way for writers to add in drama for the sake of drama, right? Like
Yeah.
I get the whole Tim's a broken man, he has a lot of work to do, but like could they had their own issues that was as it was. Could they not have worked through those issues? Like his uneasiness about Lucy going undercover. But anyhow, I can't change it. They're broken up. And so now we see they have this dynamic where they're back to kind of bantering back and forth at work and being a little bit flirty. There's the thing with the lazy writing again, right? Like, how did they get to this situation? Because last we saw them, she didn't even want to be around him,
Right
right?
Yeah.
now they're
Missed
flirting.
this whole thing, right? But anyway, I guess so she's having some suspicions about her rookie, Seth. Rightfully so. He had been caught in multiple lies already. But she went to Tim's house at the end of the episode to get his reassurance that the background checks for the LAPD are good, right? But she could have gone to anybody to do that, but she chose to go to Tim. So, that shows that she still has that need and there's that he's a source of comfort for her. And there's a lot of good things in this scene, like the callback to the lie detector test that they did last season, where Lucy asked Tim on a lie detector test if he loved her. Um, and then, of course, Kojo the dog, and Lucy telling Kojo she missed him, and Tim saying the feeling's mutual, clearly meaning him, not the dog.
Yeah.
But just so many little perfect details that tie up who these two are together. But everybody was wondering why. So Tim asked Lucy to stay and have some dinner. She said no. But in the grand scheme of things, right? Like he broke up with her. He didn't give her a reason. They haven't had a grown-up conversation about it. Why would she stay, right? And so that's what's needed here. They have a long way to go, but what's needed is an adult conversation, and I'm really hoping that comes sooner rather than later for these two, because Lucy's a strong woman, and she's not just going to let him back so easily. So I hope we get to see some of that moving forward. And again, this show's in season 7. They haven't scored a renewal yet. Ah, like I need that renewal because I'm afraid that they're gonna wait till the end of the season to put these two back together and then there won't be a season 8. So
Oh, yeah.
kind of a risky move in my opinion, but some might disagree with me and that's okay too. But yeah, that's kind of where it stands. And next week or the week coming up, sorry, will be the second part to the serial killer storyline. So lots to look forward to on that one.
Yep.
I always thought the rookie was a dramedy.
It
That's what
is.
I thought.
It
Oh,
is.
is it?
Oh, it is? Okay, it feels so serious.
Yeah.
Ah, it's not. Honestly, it is and it isn't. Like it's serious in the moments where it needs to be
Right.
and funny in the moments where it doesn't. And it's one of those, like you said, Susanna, the high potential thing, right? Like where they balance it really well. And there's just the ensemble cast, like despite the writing, these are the people that make the show so great because they are just so good. Every single person on the show is just so good. So, and you
Well, they
invest
have really
in
good
the
actors on there, right? So, I
yeah.
mean, Nathan Fillion's been in acting forever, and
They have three Canadians on their main cast. So Melissa O'Neill and Nathan Fillion and Sean Ashmore, who plays Wesley. So pretty exciting. Yeah. But so I'm looking forward to next week. And then the week after that is the Valentine's Day episode, and there's supposed to be a steamy moment between Lucy and Tim. People have kind of their predictions around that. I don't read too much into the promos because we know they're so deceiving. So I'm the kind
yes.
of person that'll be like, I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not getting too excited till I see it. But from The Rookie, we will move into a new medical drama that's changing the landscape of medical dramas in all the best ways. So, of
Yes.
course, we're talking about The Pit with Noah Wiley on Max. And look, I'm not a fan of medical dramas. I was a fan of New Amsterdam, but mostly because of the coupling of Max and Helen. But this one has me hooked, and I think it's because of the real life stories. Like I'm invested in the patients' stories that are coming into this hospital.
Yep.
And I'm a big baby when it comes to blood and gore, and there's a lot of that. So I do cover my eyes during those parts, but it's worth the discomfort. And for those of you that don't know, the format of The Pit is unique. It's 15 episodes. Every episode is in the next hour of the same shift at the hospital. So this really allows viewers into the reality of life in an emergency room, and character development happens as the cast moves between patients, which is very unique to anything that's ever been on TV in terms of a medical drama. So
Well, I mean, it's for me, I mean, I love Noah Wiley. I watched ER, so my husband and I are nurses, so we're like, okay, let's check this out. And when we found out it was an hour of each hour of the shift, we were like, okay, let's see if this is like gonna be true. And let me tell you, from the first hour, and you see the CEO of the hospital come down and talk to Noah Wiley and ask him why his patient satisfaction scores are not as on par at the hospital, and no one's going to come to the ER if it's like that. That is exactly healthcare in the United States. It's all based on patient satisfaction scores and payments from Medicare, Medicaid. So the fact that they bring that up, and that is a huge, right at the beginning, like he tells you there is not going to be good patient satisfaction scores here. It's an ED. People wait 12 hours to see
uh,
somebody, and already your patient satisfaction scores are going to be crap, you know? But it's the fact that they're bringing in real life hospital life into this drama. Um, you're right, the accidents that come in are really gory, but that's actually what happens in a trauma center. You know, you're going to see those gory accidents, but they're also tackling real world issues.
yes,
So not just these gory accidents that are coming in that you see on all medical dramas. It's actually a patient that came in, a mom that burnt herself
yes,
cooking s'mores on one of those like temporary stoves. One of the doctors thought she was homeless. It turns out she is homeless, and that's how she's cooking food for her kids. Um, drugs, the fentanyl addiction, or the fentanyl tampering of drugs in this day and age. You
that's
know,
so
they had students in university who had to stay up, or they were anxious because of a test, and they all took a Xanax that were laced with fentanyl. They all ended up in the hospital that day. Two of them made it. One is still there. But people might get frustrated as to what Noel Wiley is doing with that character, and the fact that the child is brain dead and he's still doing all these tests for the parents. But at the same time, that's realistic. Some parents are not gonna be able to believe that their child is dead until they actually see it on paper. And that's what they're showing you in that reality of this is what's happening. Same with that older gentleman that came in
yeah,
that had he had COPD and a bunch of other different things, and he was at the end of his life, and his two kids didn't want to abide by his DNR. Like they intubated him and whatever, but in the end, you saw it was for their benefit, not the dad's benefit, because
right.
they felt like they missed out on so many things and they wanted more time with him. So it's such a good like when you look at the world and the different things that are happening. Like, I feel like they're doing such a good job of bringing in these patients. Another thing that they're tackling, and I think it's great, is sickle cell crisis. So many people, African Americans, have sickle cell and they don't talk about it. No one really brings that up as a medical emergency. And the fact that they're talking about it, how it happens, the treatments for it, I think is great. They're bringing a lot of social issues into it.
Yep.
And the fact that you're right, every episode, every patient, you learn more about the characters and character development. Noah Wiley obviously has a lot of backstory with his mentor being, um, killed or had to be, the machines had to be turned off, and the fact that he's working on the anniversary of his death. But you also saw a little bit when Sean Hattie came on at the beginning. He's the night doctor, Dr. Abbott. He's a really good actor. He was on Animal Kingdom. But even that 10 minutes of him being at the beginning of the show, you know that he has as an army veteran himself, he has a lot of baggage. Like, my husband even said when Noel Wiley found him, his character Dr. Robbie found him on top of the hospital, over top of the railing, you think, is he thinking about jumping? Like, is what's happening in the hospital and all his PTSD too much for him, you know? So I'm actually interested to see what happens when he actually comes back. They also tackled the abortion issue and making
Yeah.
sure that, because I believe there's a certain timeline in Pennsylvania that you have to have it done. And there was a lot of talk about a patient that came in that was at that timeline or could have been over. So the fact that they brought up how doctors can be prosecuted, especially, I can't remember her name now. The black doctor, Christina, do you know her name? I can't remember. How Noah Wiley took that patient from her because she would get prosecuted a lot differently
Yeah.
than a male white man. Like, I just feel like the all the social issues that they're bringing into it, as well as the character development. They have student doctors on there, and all of them have their niche. One of them is a really young Doogie Howser, and the reason why she's there is because her mom's a doctor, one of the heads of neuro. So everyone thinks she's there because of that. And she fainted in one of the episodes, so now they've nicknamed her. So she has to like find a way to get through that in this episode. And she's also, I don't know if you noticed, Christina, super socially awkward. Like,
Sorry,
she
Simone.
yeah, like when they were talking to the homeless person last episode, like she just came in and said, "Hey, we can help you with your homeless situation." Not even like, "Whoa, wait a minute. Like, let's help her with what she needs, not what you think she needs."
Yeah.
Uh, the guy doctor, Whitaker, love him. He is on his fourth set of scrubs in the fourth hour of his shift or fifth hour of his shift, and he's had every single bodily fluid added, like dropped on him, and he's still going. And then the girl with the ponytail, Christina, the student doctor, I don't know if you feel this way about her, but Ian and I hope she gets her comeuppance because she's so mean to all the other student doctors, you know what I mean? But you always have one of those in the bunch. So it's the fact that we'll see what happens because she is trying to do things without attendings signing off on it. Like, she thinks she's a lot bigger than she is as a student. So I can't wait to see her get knocked down a few. But
Lots
um,
of lots of good stuff about that show for
yeah,
sure.
for sure.
And if
Yeah.
you haven't tuned in, you should.
And it better get a second season because it
Oh,
needs to.
yeah, waiting on that one. Um, but yeah, it's very, very different than your regular medical
Oh,
drama.
yeah.
I think that's why people love it so much.
Yeah.
For sure. But man, was there ever so much good TV on this week? And next week, it's gonna get even better. So some notable mentions about last week was Paradise on Hulu. It's
Oh, yeah.
already getting some rave reviews. So that's Sterling K. Brown's new drama from This Is Us. It's a tearjerker, but it's also a thriller, and he stars as Special Agent Xavier Collins. He's a Secret Service agent that was assigned to protect the president, Cal Bradford, who's played by James Marsden. Everybody loves James Marsden. But
I
in
love them.
huge twist, Marsden was assassinated in the first
I
episode.
know.
So that's laying the drama for the rest of the season to unfold. But we don't have Hulu in Canada, so I haven't been able to tune in. But
Maybe
If
I'll tune in and tell you about
Yeah,
it.
if we did, I would absolutely be tuning in. The other notable mention was the second season of The Recruit dropped on Netflix, which people love, and Watson premiered on CBS, to some mediocre reviews. So I think it needs to get a couple episodes under its belt before people can really say
It's
whether they like
reminding me, it's reminding me like it's trying to be a medical drama that deals with different types of mysteries. It reminds me like a little bit of them trying to do House,
it. Yeah.
looking at those. But we'll see. I don't know. I was gonna tune in the first episode. I completely forgot. I don't know. I might check it out and see what was mediocre about it. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, this week we have Sweet Magnolias returning for season 4. I watched the first 3 seasons because it was highly recommended to me. I am not your 1 hour feel good drama kind of girl. I need to have an edge of some sort. So
I love Sweet Magnolias. I'm so looking forward to it.
I don't know
That's
if
awesome.
I'll watch because I feel compelled to because I've already seen the first 3 seasons, but we'll see.
Well, everyone's excited about it coming back, so
Yeah. And then the
Like
second
I'm,
season,
I feel like I'm all over the map with TV, like so
yeah.
I like, my police shows, I like my health shows, I like, so
yeah.
I'm a little bit all over the place. And I not that I feel like it's similar to what's the show I'm thinking of? It had Rachel Bilson in it,
Oh, I know
which
what you're
I feel
talking
like it's
about.
similar to Virgin River. I kind of get the like old feel from Sweet Magnolias. So I
Right.
feel like it's like all three of them are kind of connected. So that's probably why I like them.
Well, I'm going to tune in. I hope I like it. But some people are saying it looks like they're marketing it to be the last season, but I don't get that from the promo at all. So I'm not sure what people are thinking
I
in
haven't
that.
even watched the promo. I like to go into it
Don't
blind.
watch the promo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
hate
then,
Sometimes
knowing what's
though,
going to
they give
happen.
you too much on the promo, like Christina was saying, and then it's not even what you think it's going to be anyway.
they
So,
cut and paste different
yeah.
things. It's
Yeah.
not, yeah. And then the second season of the Canadian hit Wildcards is premiering on the CW this week. And no matter what the CW tells you, it is not a CW original. It is a Canadian CBC original. Thank you very much. And then there's NCIS Sydney. It's back for its second season on CBS this Friday coming up. Anything you guys are looking forward to this week besides Sweet Night Magnolias, Jess?
This week, pretty much just that in my usual shows. I think
Yeah.
next, the 14th, Love is Blind comes back.
Yes, it does. Yes, it
So
does.
I'm looking forward to that. And
Yeah.
yeah, I think there's a couple new movies on Netflix that I'm wanting to watch, but who knows when I'll actually get to it. I feel like shows are a little bit easier to watch while
They
I'm
are.
working and stuff. So yeah, I'll probably just watch that. I mean, Love is Blind, I think they do like the first 5 episodes or something, and then you have to wait, and then the next five.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a while for that one, but I'm excited to watch that. Sweet Magnolias, obviously, and then like I told you guys, I'm all over the map. Teen
Yeah.
Mom came back this week, so I'm
Yeah,
excited
that's
for
right.
another episode of Teen Mom. I'm
Yep.
loving, Macy and uh, Bentley and their whole storyline and how the dad is actually being a dad
Yeah,
now.
I know. I'm so excited. I'm so glad Ryan changed his life around, like honestly.
So it's been really fun to watch that come around, and that's another show
Yes.
like Christina, you mentioned, like, because you've already watched the first seasons of Sweet Magnolia, you kind of feel like you have to watch the fourth one.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you have to stick with something till the end. And that's kind of how I feel with Teen Mom. There's been a couple seasons that I'm like, oh, are you kidding? But now watching it come full circle and, Ryan being a good dad and actually being involved, and
Yes.
it's just been great to watch. But yeah, like I'm telling you guys, I watch all kinds of shows. 90 Day Fiance.
Yeah, that one's and that season finale for before the 90 days is this Sunday. And then 90 Day Fiance premieres in 2 weeks. So
Okay. And then we have The Last Resort on too for that.
Oh
right.
God. I hope some of those people never come back on.
Oh my God, that's filmed so long ago, right?
I
Yeah.
Like,
know.
so a lot of
Well,
these people aren't even together and they haven't been
No,
together for over a year. Like,
I
well,
it's
know.
some of them are
the
breaking.
time.
Vino is breaking his NDA, or his NDA is expired because he's online spewing out like why the real reason Jasmine lost her job, and it wasn't because he sent pictures to his ex-girlfriend and everything. So that's all coming out on his end now, and she's trying to play,
But they're gonna need,
damage control.
I know we're not really talking about 90 Day, but they're gonna need
Yeah.
to figure something out because the gaps between the shows, like the timeline
Oh,
between
are too
when it
long.
happened and
I
it's
don't understand why it takes so long.
way too long. Like,
Other shows film way quicker. So
yeah. Well, and they
yeah,
clearly have this filmed. It's
yeah,
just sitting
Yeah.
in their back pocket and they're choosing when to show it. And it's like, I want more real time. I don't want to
Yeah,
watch
because
something
why do
that
you want
happened
to
a year
watch
ago.
them if you know they're t not together? Like,
Well, especially with this day and age with social media. Back in the day,
yeah,
it didn't matter. But now you have
yeah,
social media. You could see they're not together, whether or not they're saying it because of their
or
NDA.
not.
If they're not
Yeah,
posting with the person, they're clearly probably not together. Do you know what I
Right.
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
So it's just like, yeah, they're gonna need to figure something out because like I haven't even been really watching the 90 day, just the I watched The Last Resort. Um, because I'm just like I'm feeling like it's like the same thing over and over. And yeah, they're gonna need
Well,
to.
then it's fake, right? You feel like you're watching fake crap because
And
they're
I
not
think a
even
lot of it
together
is fake.
anymore.
I
Yeah.
don't think a lot of them
Well,
are.
one other show I forgot to mention, 911 Lone Star has its
Mm.
series finale this week. So it's
Yeah, I thought that they were gonna do that. Yeah.
done, done,
Crazy.
done. Tuesday's the last episode. People feel like they rushed the final season
Of
just to
course
get
they
it
did.
done. So it'll be interesting to see how people feel after the finale. But
I
there is
think
a new
Taylor
spin-off.
Sheridan has just too much going on.
Hopefully,
Well,
they
there
get
is a
all the
new,
answers they want out of the
yeah,
finale.
Yeah.
yeah. So we'll have to see. There's a new spin-off coming to ABC for it, but we'll see where
So
that.
they ended the show to start a spin-off.
Yeah, because Fox wouldn't, ABC didn't want to pick up Lone Star like they picked up 911. There was a whole dispute there, and Fox didn't want to keep Lone Star going. So
Why
Well, I
wouldn't
thought we talked
ABC
about
pick it
this,
up?
and
Like 911, the original is so popular.
I don't know.
right,
Yeah, just no room on its budget, I guess. But yeah,
or they feel like something bigger is coming through.
Yeah,
maybe.
maybe.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
I'm excited for the hunting party. I know it's already on Peacock, but I don't have Peacock. It's going to be on cable this week.
NBC premiered it
Yeah,
last.
last week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm
But
excited for that.
yeah.
You know me, I love those Criminal Minds kind of so it'll be interesting to see how they work all those serial killers being out.
Yeah.
Lots to
Yeah.
watch, even though a lot is off TV.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well,
Finding time for all of it.
yeah, very hard.
Yeah.
I'm watching Toy Story, Lightning McQueen.
Oh
There's
my
barely
God.
any time for my shows.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Gotta wait for them to head to bed.
Literally.
Well, thanks so much for tuning in, everyone. We'd love to hear from our listeners about what they thought of our opinions. Do you agree? Do you disagree? We're not going to be offended. Leave your thoughts in the comments and we'll respond in the next episode. Remember to follow us on X at Spoiler TV Pod and on IG at the Spoiler TV Podcast. Thanks again, and we hope you tune in next week. See you then.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.